Okay, everybody, welcome back. We're here at the Bitcoin.com studio. Email us, as always, freedom@charliekirk.com. Gavin Newsom is on a media tour right now, and he thinks he's kind of found his whole new vibe and energy after he invited guests like me on his podcast. That didn't go too well for him. He's now just trying to convince people that he is the fighter to take on Donald Trump. Well, joining us now is Steve Hilton, candidate for governor of California. You guys could check out stevehiltonforgovernor.com. Steve, great to see you, my friend. Steve, what do you make of Gavin Newsom's new media circuit? Let's play 426, then I want your reaction. Play cut 426.
Study has ranked the dirtiest cities in all of America, and unfortunately for California, the rankings did not go in our favor. The rankings come from the national lawn care company Lawn Starter. They analyzed cleanliness in categories such as pollution, living conditions, waste infrastructure, and resident dissatisfaction with the environment. San Bernardino was ranked the dirtiest city both in California and in America. Los Angeles ranked number 2 on both the state and national list. Detroit, Michigan placed number 3, followed by Reading, Pennsylvania. 2 more California cities placed in the top 10. Ontario was ranked as the 5th dirtiest city. Corona rounded out the top 10 at number 10.
Yeah. Steve, California could not have literally a bigger government to solve this, and we know this to be true. Your thoughts, Steve Hilton, on this topic more broadly?
Well, Gavin Newsom is a total failure and a total joke, Charlie. I mean, it's great to be with you. And you know this because you've been on it all along. He is the worst governor in America by far. I mean, you just listen. Every day there's something new. Those rankings on the filth and squalor in our great, beautiful cities that once were the pride of America in California. But every other metric, right now in California, we have the highest unemployment rate in America. We have the highest poverty rate in America. The highest cost for everything that matters: gas, electricity, water, insurance, everything, the most expensive, housing, rent, you name it. We have the worst business climate in America 10 years in a row. I mean, on and on. Everything is a disaster. So what's he doing? This ridiculous, incompetent idiot. He's running around lecturing everyone about authoritarianism and democracy. Meanwhile, rigging the elections even further in California with his redistricting thing that he claims is all about Texas, but he gave the game away because at the start of it, he said this is really about, in his words, our opportunity to end the Trump presidency. So he's just a joke. And one last thing I'll say, Charlie, is that, yes, just this week, we talk about the dirty cities. I was in Oakland, California, in the Bay Area. I put out a video of it because even to me, and I've been on the road now for years, and I've seen, I thought, everything in California. The scale of the squalor that I saw on the homelessness was off the charts. I put out a video, and Gavin Newsom himself, a year ago, he went to a homeless encampment in LA for some photo op, nothing like as bad as what I just saw in Oakland this week. Here's the quote from Gavin Newsom. Quote, "People are done. If we don't deal with this, we don't deserve to be in office." That was a year ago. He's done nothing. Just as when he sat down with you and agreed with you about the obscenity of biological men in girls' sports, he said, yeah, that's massively unfair, deeply unfair, he said. What's he done about it since then? Nothing. This guy is an absolute joke. That's why I'm running for governor, Charlie, because while it's a joke, it's not funny. California is turning into a failed state. We can't let that happen. This is a serious job, taking on this corrupt elite. My parents are Hungarian immigrants, working class. I got to Oxford University. I taught at Stanford University. I started companies on both sides of the Atlantic. I've worked at the highest level in government. I've got the media platform. We need a serious fighter to take on these corrupt elite idiots who are destroying this beautiful state that should be the pride of America.
Yeah, and I mean, I completely agree. And let's just play some of this of Gavin Newsom's press tour. This is him at a Politico conference today. Yeah. I don't know what he's doing there. Play cut 4-6. Like, govern your state. There are still burned cars on the sides of the street in the Pacific Palisades from the fire in December. And that fire was largely because of Gavin Newsom's gross negligence. Play cut 462.
I don't think Donald Trump wants another election. You think for a second I have 24 Trump 2028 hats. His folks keep sending me.
And you think he's going to run again?
No, don't give me. You don't. Who spends $200 million on a ballroom at their home and then leaves the house?
Okay, so we're obviously getting under his skin. People are trolling him, and he doesn't get it, obviously. But also, I mean, also his fake pause. Like, he thinks he's Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, oh, let me do this kind of fake pause. But, Steve, there are immediate and urgent concerns in California. There are burned cars still in Malibu, and Gavin Newsom can't get the California Highway Patrol to clean up the burnt cars from December.
I know. Look, I was there on the 6-month anniversary of the fires, and I stood in front to do my press conference. I had people who lost their homes and everything, and like all the community there with me. We stood in front of a pile of rubble, blocking the sidewalk. 6 months on, right? In January, Gavin Newsom said, we're going to have a, quote, Marshall Plan to rebuild Los Angeles. 6 months on, he can't even clear the sidewalk. I mean, this is the depth of his complete superficiality. He's a complete buffoon. Nothing he says can be taken seriously. But the problem is we've got to take him seriously because he does manage to pull the wool over people's eyes. He's a good performer. And the Democrats are lapping it up. They love this stuff. So we've got to take that aspect of it seriously because you cannot have this guy. He's obviously only interested now in running for president, zero interest in dealing with any of the massive problems that he and his corrupt regime have caused in California. He's not interested in California at all. But we can't let him anywhere near the White House. He is so disastrous. And so we got to take that threat very seriously.
Yeah, so you mentioned the redistricting. We didn't really we didn't land the plane here on this program because there's been so much going on. So did Gavin Newsom officially pass a redistrict? What does that mean? Will that mean there'll be no more Republican seats in the state of California? That story was happening so fast, then it happened kind of over a weekend. So super helpful for you to catch us up to speed on this.
So I'll just try and lay it out very, very simply. And there's a number of lies that Newsom and the Democrats are saying. First of all, they're saying that we have in California an independent districting process that the people voted for over 10 years ago and that we have fair districts. That is not true. Democrats have already gerrymandered California in an obscene and grotesque way, far worse than anything Republicans have done. So right now, we have roughly 40% of the vote statewide, Republicans in California, and that in exchange for that, we have 17% of the House seats. If we had fair representation today in California, we'd have another 12 House seats. So let's just be clear. He's already stolen 12 House seats. What they've just done is put in a bill in the legislature, which they passed and Gavin Newsom has signed, to amend the California Constitution to officially take the power away from the Citizens Independent Districting Commission to implement maps that they've already drawn. The maps are part of this ballot initiative. They're going to put it on the ballot in November. It's happening. And they're going to pass these maps for the next 3 congressional cycles. And the maps would mean that instead of what we have now, which is 9 congressional districts for Republicans in California out of 52, there would be 4 districts. They're going to steal another 5. So you're going to end up in a situation where for 40% of the vote minimum, Republicans in California would have 6% of the House seats. It is an outrageous power grab, totally corrupt, and we've got to fight it. Now, I'm fighting to stop it even getting to the ballot. We're working with my lawyers. We're going to be filing a lawsuit next week on constitutional grounds in federal court to try and stop him even getting it to the ballot. Because, by the way, this is going to cost $250 million. $250 million. Purely, it's basically a donation to his presidential campaign. That's the only reason he's doing it. They claimed that it was responding to Texas. At the last minute, they took that out of the legislation. They said, we're only going to do this if Texas goes ahead. And that was a Texas treatment. They deleted it from the bill. So it's going to happen anyway, because it's all about
really quick.
Gavin Newsom. It's absolutely outrageous.
We got to go. Steve, remind the audience how they can support your campaign. 10 seconds, really quick.
There are 3 great comedy nights coming up. And if you're in Southern California, go to hollywoodforhilton.com because we got some great events Sunday, Monday, and next week in Southern California. It's a great way to support the campaign. Anyone who's around, we'd love to see you. hollywoodforhilton.com.
Love it. Thank you so much, Steve Hilton. Excellent as always. Thank you so much. Email us as always, freedom@charliekirk.com. Subscribe to our podcast. Let's see what news we can make after the break.